Hi Vince, if a situation change color from normal conversation goes to aggressive interaction, what is the proper frame to hold in those situations as a player? Well, if we're addressing it from the perspective of you consider yourself a player, first, what does it mean to you? Does it work for you? Is that the ultimate way to define yourself? My personal way to define myself is I am unlimited power and potential that has to yet be discovered and defined. So I will not frame myself with just a label for fun, maybe, yes. And the proper frame would be everything serves. Everything serves you. Which kind of brings us back, if you pay attention, to what we were talking before. One way we become dependent is the moment we assume or assess that something is working against us. I had a world record of interactions, to keep it in the context of pickup, that started with maybe a girl saying, fuck you. Hold it, diffusing it with nonverbal. Wow. Okay, well, that was strong. To not go in her face, but the option could be there. And I go, hold it. You're a little too fast for me. Fuck, and me in the same sentence, that's too fast. And at that time, oftentimes it diffuses it, the fact that I'm being funny and that I don't respond the way they expect that I respond. So my point is this: I don't let whatever they do decide. I go back to how can I use that? Now you can use it in many directions. Same thing with life. In life, if you become too dependent, you got to be aware of what's happening with your bank balance. You got to be aware of what's happening with people around you. But you cannot let that decide in terms of what's possible. Otherwise, you're like a yo-yo. You go up, you go down. You go up, you go down. You got to sustain your decisions no matter what, and whatever life presents you, no matter what direction it goes into, you go back to how can that serve me? Some of the greatest success stories of all time came from events that most would have found devastating. What made the difference were that the people who were going through those events refused to let that decide for them. What better reason to become very fit than to be fat? What better reason to become very healthy than to be sick? What better reason to become truly wealthy than to be broke? But for most people, being broke, to them, that is the reason why they cannot be wealthy. Flip that around. Don't depend on your current situation to decide where it's going next. And then all the emotional dependencies. Ultimately, we think we're free, but we're bound minute per minute. It's amazing. Notice, if I wasn't working on that stuff, first I could have been quite irritated by the fact that suddenly here I am and I'm not prepared the way I want to be prepared. But how important is that? What difference would it have made with my key points if I was wearing 3 rings or not? Sure, maybe more colorful, there's always a benefit. I'm not saying no. But for me to jump to conclusion to go, oh no, it shouldn't have happened, I'm missing out on the richness. Some of the most beautiful moments you may have may come from you showed up at the place and the place was closed. So go beyond all those silly dependencies. Then we see somebody posting swastikas. Now, it would irritate most people. But the sad thing would be that, as they always say, it's not the bite of a snake that kills. It's the venom. And by the time the venom kills the person who was bitten, usually the snake is long gone. So we let some venom reside within us, and we're the ones who suffer. We create most of our suffering because we become dependent on other people's behavior and so on. So what? Somebody wants to throw a swastika right there? Okay. First, who's more in trouble? I think for a person to take the time to do that, wow. I want to pause for a second. I want to use any and everything that I've ever learned about praying to pray for that individual. But notice, how many people could be outraged right now? And what is the outrage doing? How many people could be offended? What value is there? I am so offended. Is that going to resolve problems? You know, if a person is so offended by that, at that point, go feed the homeless tonight. Go do something beautiful. It's a great example. Then we're back in what I call divine order. Because an act that, I don't know where it came from, okay? It's probably not a lot of maturity. Sometimes we find out that it's sometimes kids who do shit like that, and so on. But whatever that person's intention is, that's a good example right now. We're going to make that serve us. I love when haters come on those things, because every time they make me better at not being so easily offended, battered, to drop it sooner, to stay resourceful. It's an illusion. My mission and my dedication is to reach that place so then I can share it with others where I'm no longer deviating. No matter what had happened, I get up where I'm at and I know I'm still at a place of pure potentiality. So everybody, to make this even more practical, think at what point during your most recent pickup, at what point during your most recent hope for a better man in your business or an increase or a sale or whatever career you're in, at what point during just your day, nothing special, you're going through your day, at what point did something come into play and you forgot that you were still at a place of pure potentiality? Pure potentiality. See, a person could undergo bankruptcy one day, and during the moment where it's happening, they're still at a place of pure potentiality where the best next idea they've ever had can come. Pure potentiality, meaning they could take a walk in nature and it could be the most pleasant walk in nature they've ever taken. They could laugh. All of that does not disappear. A guy could talk to a girl and have the girl turn around and give him what to him would be the harshest response, which for most guys, the girl would probably question the size of his fucking penis, tell him that he's not pretty, and maybe stack a couple of things on top of that. He is still in pure potentiality. He can turn and go, what's your take on that, darling? This girl just came to me and say, fuck you, you're ugly and you probably have a small dick. How would you deal with somebody who's that aggressive? I wonder what the deal was with her. So here's a wonderful practical thing tonight. We all embrace the mantra affirmation. I am still in pure potentiality. I'm still in pure potentiality. So next time you're doing your pickup or a girl comes over or there are women watching this, at least that's the goal. So let's say something goes weird with a guy, you're in a relationship, you have a fight, you feel an unease, you are a little emotional and you want to talk to him and he goes, not now. Okay? It's possible. Guys, we do that, you know. In that moment, remember, I'm still at a place of pure potentiality. No matter what happens in business, no matter what step you take, no matter where you're at when you wake up, you're still at a place of pure potentiality. Now, who am I to proclaim all those things? Am I right? Am I wrong? Who knows? But let's be intelligent for a second. Would you rather later on find out that you were off in the following way? You were off because you were not exactly in a place of pure potentiality, but it made you feel a bit better to think so. Or that every time you got a little sad, every time you got a little upset, every time you felt discouraged, every time you got pissed, every time you dramatized, every time you complained, every time you got angry, every time you felt, no, there's nothing that can be done, you were buying into lies and you were still at a place of pure potentiality. Let's go even further and beyond. what would your life begin to be like, independently from what people will do and so on, because there it's motion around, okay? I think it's intelligent when we wake up in the morning to know that the day around us will probably be a blend of things that we could think as good or bad. You know, there's going to be a couple people that will be very genuine with us, a couple in between, and we meant to encounter a couple people who are in distress that day. Same thing when you do pickup, same thing at work. If you have a brilliant idea for business or you want to share an idea, you get excited, you put a party together, there's going to be a group that are going to be, wow, pretty cool with it, liking it, going for it, participating. There's those in between, and there's also always those who are not going to like it. One of my mentors, Jim Rohn, was hired when it was the beginning of the new millennium by a major corporation. The tab was high. He charged them $1 million. They asked him a question. What are we to expect in the new millennium? For those of you born after the year 2000, that seems like, wow, that's a long time ago. His answer was simple. It's going to be pretty much the same. What? We just paid $1 million to hear you say it's going to be pretty much the same. But that's how it is. Now, the story has it that when they really reflected on what he was offering, they found it so rich, they hired him a second time, paying an equal amount of money. I wasn't there. I like the story, though. So it's going to be pretty much the same. But what would it be like if, independently from whether or not the girl will text you back, or she will show up, or your boss would be friendly or not, or you're going to get the raise or not, or maybe, you know, you're going to be feeling good, or Lord knows, and there's always a little drama, you know. I was so excited because there's a matter that I've let 2 years pending, you know, a matter important known as pay your taxes. Finally, after 2 years, I go, I got to do this. I've been neglecting it. You know, I'm like such an artist. Bullshit excuse. I do it. For half a day, I feel like, oh my God, I'm so happy I did it. Half a day after that, somebody was trying to attack me legally. I had to laugh, okay? When finally I felt better, I heard news that my mom had to be hospitalized. And it's ongoing like that. So I'm done being bipolar, going, woohoo, oh no, oh yes, oh my God. What if, despite all of that activity and that motion, and also your own activity, you know, this morning I woke up well rested, but there was a lot of unease. For a split second, I thought, am I under the weather and so on? Later on, I realized I took my vitamins on an empty stomach and I didn't eat something right away. So it wasn't dramatic, but our mind will always be like, oh, am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? What if, regardless of all of that, you grant yourself that sense of pure potentiality, that you let go of those timelines that we establish of beginning and end? Now is the time. Now I can have a good time because it's a holiday. Now I cannot because I'm at work. Oh, now I can come up with great ideas because I'm well rested. Now I'm fucked because I'm tired. Now I can do well because there's a lot of friendly people here. Now I cannot do well because the place is empty. So become aware of all those dependencies. And well, you know, we are warriors. I mean, one option is to pretend everything's okay, to be in denial, to numb ourselves and so on. Let's go just a touch further. Imagine for a moment, with your eyes closed or open, that regardless of what's happening around you, the people in your life, your situation, even if there's a little note on the door that you're late for rent, that regardless, not in a way where you're going to neglect everything, but regardless, you've got to remember, I'm still at a place of pure potentiality. Pure potentiality. I don't let anything decide because I know truth. Truth is I'm pure potential. It's an illusion. I've been conditioned in an illusion to think that there's a time when I should be sad and a time when I should be happy, that it's appropriate. Then we become puppets. We're not really living life. So make headways with that. Take this gift, pure potentiality. And to really do the work, without judging yourself, you observe. Observe the fluctuations. I'm telling you, when I conduct little experiments like that with myself, regardless of the fact that I've spent decades now teaching, studying, being certified, this, that discipline, and so on. It's a bit of a shock at first, so be prepared for it because I realized, oh my God, I'm so dependent. My fluctuations are so frequent. And then we want to reassure ourselves more completely, more deeply.